wealth that intends to survive time must be born in the shadows, where silence protects what ambition tries to rush. It is not displayed gold that leads to power, but gold that matures unseen. Machiavelli suggested that power thrives away from public noise. Thus begins the journey of those who choose to prosper without witnesses. The first step to becoming rich without drawing attention is to discipline the impulse that demands speed. Haste reveals intentions and exposes weaknesses, while slow, calculated progress builds walls no hostile eye can penetrate. The wise observe before acting, letting time conceal their plans and turning each gesture into a precise move in the silent game of fortune. Anyone seeking to accumulate wealth unnoticed must understand that the greatest enemy is not the world outside, but inner restlessness. A turbulent mind exposes secrets. Those who master their inner life turn silence into strategy. Thus, the ancients advise guarding one's thoughts as carefully as treasure. For every hidden empire begins with an ordered mind. There comes a moment when the traveler discovers that wealth is not only possession, but perception. Being seen as too prosperous awakens envy. Appearing ordinary protects like an invisible shield. The wise shape their image carefully, knowing true financial freedom begins when no one perceives their real reach. To hide strength is often the greatest form of power. To prosper discreetly, one must master the art of concealed intention. Not every idea should be shared, nor every step announced. The wise knew that silence matures plans as night matures seeds. What grows away from noise faces fewer risks. Thus, the prudent cultivate their designs in fertile darkness, revealing them only when they are already inevitable. The world's scrutiny falls upon those who move loudly. Those who understand human nature act under a mantle of simplicity, offering no reason to be investigated. Knowing the desires, fears, and impulses of others allows one to navigate among them without raising suspicion. Hidden wealth strengthens itself where few ever perceive its existence. Ancient masters taught that true power does not live in display, but in stillness. Exposed gold creates enemies. Hidden gold creates opportunities. The one who learns to prosper without attention opens doors that boastful never see. Each quiet achievement becomes a brick in a strong, invisible structure, protected from the envy of the unwise. The secret path to prosperity demands subtlety. Power does not grow from breaking walls, but from finding passageways others ignore. Skilled strategists valued small, precise decisions, for they shape grand results. Discreet greatness does not come from loud acts, but from controlled choices made at the right moment. In this balance, silent wealth takes form. In silence, the future reveals itself to those who know how to observe. Whoever seeks lasting wealth must learn to see beyond the obvious. In gestures, hidden opportunities, and paths avoided by others. True fortune is born from careful reading of the environment. As the ancient strategists taught, those who master the unseen gain what the distracted never notice. Silent power demands emotional endurance. Many fail because they want to be seen, confusing recognition with strength. Yet true greatness is built far from applause. The wise understood that the ego is a subtle saboteur. Thus, the traveler rejects immediate brightness and chooses to advance unseen, fortifying each step with patience, discipline, and inner control. Invisible prosperity grows from understanding not only when to act, but when to vanish. Some victories require stepping back so the path can open. The wise erase their tracks with care, appearing only when their presence was essential. One's visibility must be as deliberate as one's strategy, emerging only at the exact moment where impact becomes unavoidable. No hidden wealth can flourish without mastery over one's own ambitions. Those who cannot control desire become slaves to what they attempt to command. Thus, the sages taught that before seeking gold, one must shape the spirit. Inner stability prevents greed from blinding judgment. Only self-governance allows wealth to grow away from the ego's traps. A silent law governs all who prosper without witnesses. Never waste energy on imprecise moves. Every action must serve a greater purpose. Ancient masters did not move by impulse, but by reading the terrain. Small decisions, accumulated with rigor, build the backbone of an invisible legacy. The traveler learns that precision is the currency of hidden strength. Silence is more than the absence of words. It is a deliberate strategy. It allows one to study the world while remaining unseen. Attentive contemplation reveals opportunities buried in details. Those who learn this art free themselves from urgency and discover paths others ignore. In this heightened perception, fortune approaches like a fruit ripened by clarity. To prosper quietly, one must understand the rhythm of human relationships. The wise never force alliances. They sense which ones strengthen and which ones must be dissolved early. Silent power is born from careful selection. Thus, the traveler builds a discreet network of few but essential allies, none of whom ever suspect the depth of his ambition. No secret fortune survives without mastering the art of appearing smaller than one truly is. Calculated modesty is not weakness, but protection. It diverts attention and creates space for broad, unchallenged movement. Machiavelli understood this principle and used it precisely. Being underestimated is a rare advantage, for it allows action in the exact places no one observes. Silent strategy depends on controlling one's own narrative. Those who mold how they are perceived gain an invisible shield. The wise avoid noise, comparisons, and provocation. Their image remains simple, harmless, underestimated. Behind that facade, they maneuver freely. By shaping perception, they create a world where their true power grows unchallenged and unnoticed. Invisible growth requires emotional mastery. An agitated mind reveals weaknesses others can exploit. Calmness becomes armor. The sages taught that nothing should disturb the spirit of one who builds a hidden legacy. Only inner peace allows the traveler to see the next step with precision. Serenity is not passivity, it is strategy in its highest form. Discreet prosperity is not built by chance, but by silent consistency. The wise do not seek glory, they seek progress. Small daily actions accumulate into immense structures. These efforts remain invisible even to those nearby. Only when the foundation is unshakable does the world finally notice, but by then, no opposition can reverse what was built in the shadows. If the traveler truly wishes to master the art of becoming rich without being noticed, he must recognize that each teaching forms part of a greater work. But before moving on, share your thoughts. Comment below, like this video, follow the channel, and activate notifications. Your engagement sustains this path and guides more seekers towards silent prosperity. True silent prosperity does not rely only on wise decisions, but on mastering timing. Acting too early destroys opportunities not yet mature. Waiting too long erases what could have been yours. The prudent traveler learns to feel the hidden rhythm of events, adjusting each step to the invisible pulse that governs the destinies of men. No secret construction endures if one is unaware of their own weaknesses. The ancients advised examining the soul with rigor, recognizing vulnerabilities before others use them as weapons. The seeker, who understands his fragilities, turns them into strength, eliminating surprise and becoming unbreakable. Hidden wealth demands full self-awareness, free of comforting illusions. Those who wish to grow rich, unnoticed, must learn to act through layers. Direct movements reveal intent. Indirect movements confuse observers. Ancient strategists crafted paths that seemed accidental, though they were carefully planned. In doing so, they hid their goals behind ordinary gestures, allowing destiny to unfold without exposing their guiding hand. Silent discipline is the foundation of any invisible legacy. No hidden growth occurs without consistency. The world admires dramatic leaps, but quiet, daily effort shapes enduring empires. The patient individual accumulates small advances that settle like sediment at the bottom of a river. In the right moment, this quiet foundation supports greatness no one expected. Those who seek discreet prosperity must master the art of renunciation. Not every path should be taken. Not every opportunity should be seized. The wise understood that excess weakens and focus magnifies power. They selected only what served their purpose and abandoned what drained strength. To renounce is not to lose, it is to preserve the future. Those who accumulate invisible wealth know that appearance is a tool, not a mirror. To seem ordinary protects. To seem predictable disarms. Ancient masters maintained harmless images while quietly moving the structures that granted them power. The duality between being and seeming is the key that allows prosperity to grow without stirring suspicion. Every silent strategy depends on reading the intentions of others. Observing action is not enough. One must understand the motive beneath it. Those who see beyond gestures discover hidden paths in human behavior. They anticipate threats, dissolve risks, and find opportunities buried under trivial habits. To read people is a science, and those who master it move with absolute advantage. The architecture of invisible wealth requires deep understanding of failure. Failure should not be feared, but studied. Each defeat exposes a map of one's weaknesses. The ancients treated failure as a strict but fair teacher. Those who face it with clarity convert pain into wisdom. It is this wisdom that silently paves the road toward an indestructible future. Hidden power strengthens itself when victories are kept quiet. Celebrating too loudly creates noise, and noise attracts eyes that should not see. The wise know that greatness does not need witnesses to exist. Each silent triumph becomes a reserve of strength, protected from curiosity, preserved for the decisive moment when silence becomes force. The traveler seeking discreet prosperity must understand the value of emotional distance. Getting too close to one's ambitions creates blindness. Stepping back allows clarity. The ancients cultivated a lucid coldness, not from lack of heart, but from excess of vision. Those who observe their own path from afar make decisions that endure beyond circumstance. Wealth, unnoticed by the world, is built through attention to the world's smallest fractures. While most pursue grand opportunities, the wise examine what others overlook. Machiavelli affirmed that details shape destinies, and those who see them anticipate the unexpected. A subtle shift, a small error, anything can become advantage for those who see beneath the surface. To prosper unseen, one must master the art of internal silence. It is not merely about controlling speech, but quieting the storms within. When the spirit calms, clarity rises from places noise hides. The ancients meditated not for mysticism, but for strategy. A serene mind perceives what a restless mind cannot. Inner silence becomes both shield and weapon. Anyone wishing to build an invisible future must understand that information is a currency more valuable than gold. Knowing what others ignore is advantage. Knowing what they fear is power. Ancient thinkers collected fragments of truth like rare stones, later transforming them into decisions that looked like intuition, but were, in truth, deliberate calculation. The secret road to prosperity requires acting without emotional traces. Most reveal intentions through excitement or anxiety. The wise maintain steady internal temperature. They do not rush when they succeed, nor collapse when they fail. Such balance confuses observers and prevents anyone from predicting the next step in their silent ascent. Silent prosperity also depends on mastering minimal movements. Not every action must be grand. Many great shifts begin with almost invisible adjustments. A refined habit, a small retreat, a subtle redirection. These shape true strength. Ancient masters knew that consistent power is rarely born from explosions, but from steady accumulations unnoticed by the world. The traveler seeking hidden wealth soon learns that the world reveals itself to those who observe without attracting attention. When you move quietly, others lower their guard and show truths they hide from the loud. The wise gain deep understanding of their surroundings while remaining, to all, an ordinary figure, harmless, forgettable, underestimated. No invisible empire rises without enduring periods of apparent stillness. Strategic patience is a virtue's few respect. There are moments when inaction is the highest form of force. The ancients recognized that time favors those who do not despair. Thus, the prudent individual learns to turn waiting into an advantage, allowing destiny to ripen before striking. To grow rich, unseen, the seeker must understand that predictability is protection. When your patterns appear simple and harmless, no one imagines what you're building behind them. Routine becomes a valuable disguise. The wise use the ordinary as a shield, allowing their true plans to operate in absolute silence, untouched by suspicion. Invisible prosperity strengthens itself when the traveler measures not only strengths but limits. Advancing beyond necessity awakens enemies. Exposing too much creates weakness. Wisdom lies in knowing when to stop, even when ambition craves one more step. The ancients taught that the safest victory is the one achieved before anyone realizes you are competing. The traveler, walking the secret path to wealth, learns that the mind is the true battleground. Poorly cultivated thoughts become internal enemies. The wise nourish thoughts that strengthen and reject those that distract from purpose. By ordering the interior world, they create a fertile environment where strategy grows far from any external gaze. Prosperity hidden from the world grows stronger when the individual understands that every journey requires constant vigilance. It is not enough to advance. One must observe the forces moving around them, for danger rarely announces itself. The wise kept their senses sharp, detecting subtle shifts in the environment. This silent awareness protected them and allowed action before threats fully formed. The traveler seeking invisible wealth learns that foresight is not a gift, but a reflection of attention to a future does not appear suddenly. It reveals small, almost imperceptible signs. When the mind is alert, it notices patterns others ignore, turning uncertainty into maps. The silent seeker prospers because he reads tomorrow, while the world remains distracted by today. No hidden path flourishes without the ability to command one's own energy. The ancients taught that wasting strength on trivial conflicts is losing battles before they begin. The wise choose where to invest their vitality, ignoring small wars to win greater ones. They advance with economy of movement, preserving internal resources that later guarantee decisive advantage. Those who prosper in silence understand that scarcity is an illusion created by restless minds. Abundance exists in places where no one thinks to look. It appears in neglected corners, avoided paths, and ideas considered too small to matter. The wise find wealth in what others dismiss, because they perceive value long before competition begins. Building a hidden fortune requires protecting one's emotions from the influence of the outside world. Most people react impulsively to random stimuli, but the wise choose their responses carefully. Each reaction shapes perception, and perception shapes power. Emotional control is not the absence of feeling. It is mastery over the arena where many lose their destiny. To grow rich unnoticed, one must understand that every advantage carries a hidden cost. The wise do not seek gain alone. They weigh risks with equal seriousness. Before each step, they measure invisible consequences. This caution prevents them from advancing on unstable ground. Their decisions rarely require correction because they were forged with clarity and responsibility. The seeker of silent prosperity understands that power often lies in what is left unsaid. Too many words build fragile walls. Silence, however, creates mystery, and mystery generates strength. The ancients used the absence of explanation as a strategic weapon. What is not explained cannot be attacked. Thus, the wise protect themselves by leaving questions unanswered. Invisible growth solidifies when one learns to act without haste, yet without pause. The wise do not rush impulsively toward the future, nor do they slow down when faced with resistance. They maintain a constant rhythm, like a river that bends around obstacles without losing direction. This disciplined flow creates results that appear effortless, but are born of patient determination. Those who seek hidden prosperity understand that many victories are won through observation, not intervention. Most people act too much and notice too little. The wise do the opposite. They absorb every detail, every nuance, every silence. They understand that information is fertile ground, and action should occur only when the terrain is fully mapped. No effort is wasted. Reaching this point, the traveler realizes that true fortune is not only what one possesses, but what one becomes. The teachings so far revealed the nature of hidden construction, but the deeper core remains ahead. The path narrows, demanding sharper clarity. From here on, each lesson grows more refined, more enigmatic, and more revealing. As the traveler moves toward the core of silent prosperity, he discovers that most people fail not from lack of opportunity, but from inability to protect what they build. True wealth lies not only in acquiring, but in preserving. The wise create a quiet circle of protection around themselves, made of prudence, discretion, and awareness of every step. The ancients taught that silent power grows when one hides not only ambitions, but fears. The world detects weakness with cruel accuracy. Therefore, the wise guard their inner life like a buried treasure. Nothing is revealed, nothing exposed, nothing surrendered. In this way, vulnerabilities become impenetrable shadows, invisible to any threat seeking entry. The seeker of invisible fortune understands that stability does not come from circumstances, but from a trained mind. Some days bring chaos, others bring order. In both, the wise remain unchanged. They never allow the external world to dictate their course. Their strategy continues steady, their plans remain intact. Consistency is what separates builders from dreamers. To prosper unnoticed, one must master the art of turning obstacles into disguises. Many difficulties serve as perfect curtains for hidden progress. While the world sees problems, the wise see opportunities to advance without drawing attention. They move where no one expects, strengthening themselves in the intervals, failures, and silences that intimidate the impatient. The great architects of silent prosperity knew that every hidden ascent demands abandoning the need for recognition. The desire to be seen destroys more fortunes than lack of talent. The wise reject applause and embrace anonymity as a strategic tool. In anonymity, they operate with total freedom, unchallenged, and extraordinarily effective. The journey sharpens when the traveler realizes that true strength lies in never revealing the final destination. Exposed goals become vulnerable goals. Thus, the ancients taught that each purpose must be guarded like a sacred secret. The wise admit only what is necessary, hide what is essential, and share nothing that endangers their position. Destiny remains protected. No secret empire stands without its final pillar, mastery over silence. Some are silent out of fear, others out of strategy. The second group shapes the world without the world noticing. Those who control silence control rhythm, and those who control rhythm control the game. Thus, the wise direct their ascent with almost invisible precision. Looking back, the traveler sees that every stage of the silent journey created an invisible architecture built with discipline, prudence, and lucidity. Nothing was accidental. Every gesture had purpose. Hidden prosperity is never luck, it is the sum of deliberate choices made with full awareness. Here the art reveals itself. Wealth is not power alone, but self-mastery. Now, at the threshold of the end, the seeker understands what few ever discover. True greatness lies not in being noticed, but in being unshakable. Silent wealth grants total freedom. Machiavelli would observe that such power belongs only to those who unite prudence with self-control. Those who master this art become free, for their strength depends on no one but themselves. If this journey resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. Your engagement keeps this path alive and guides other seekers towards silent prosperity. Remember, the greatest wealth is built where no one sees, shaped by a mind that chooses silence while the world still learns to observe.